Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another brilliant Businesses of Brighton podcast. Today I'm joined by Krystle Taylor from Glossy, the digital online beauty booking platform. Welcome, Krystle.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, lovely to have you on. A female founder, which we love, and the fact that you've got getting this business off the ground, also balancing a young family. We'll dive into that, but equally super impressive. But Krystle, tell us your story. Where did it all start?
Quite recently, it was a January, not this last January, the one before. My good friend was staying at the Grand on the seafront for her 40th and said, "Can you please help me find somebody to come to the hotel room and help me do my hair and makeup for my party?" And endless trawling through websites, emailing, calling, we couldn't find anyone, and we couldn't believe it, really. It ended up resulting in me going to her hotel room to do her hair and makeup for her, and we just had such a lovely time. It turned into this really lovely experience, and it really felt like the beginning of the evening had started with the getting ready experience.
Wow.
We just had a really, really lovely time, and I just thought that anybody visiting Brighton or anybody living in Brighton celebrating a special occasion should have access to that kind of service, and it should be easily available.
So you making all these phone calls, contacting all these people, you just couldn't get anybody?
Honestly, we were trawling through lists and lists and lists, and there was just no way unless we were prepared to sit down probably for a few hours and go through them meticulously, calling salons, calling individuals, we wouldn't have been able to find anyone. And I just thought it just seemed absolutely bonkers that this isn't available. And a lot of the hotels on the seafront don't even have their own salons either, so they don't offer the service. So people visiting Brighton, staying in hotels, don't have any way of knowing where to go, who to book, who's good, who they can rely on. And it just seemed like a really strange situation. And we were sat in this hotel room and we'd had this really lovely time. I mean, we had a lovely glass of champagne as well, and it was all a really gorgeous celebratory experience. And we just said, well, if no one else is doing it, then I've just got to do it.
Amazing. That's how the best ideas start.
It was born in the suite in the Grand.
Beautiful. And if the best sort of business model is to sort of scratch your own itch first, right?
Yeah,
you've got a problem you've solved yourself. I wonder if other people have this problem. And lo and behold, they do. Yeah,
and we had a cheers in that hotel room, and that was that. So that was January, and by April, I think I'd registered the business, and the process kind of started then. And I almost felt like I was compelled to do it. There was no way I was not going to do it.
Yeah.
I sat on it from January to March, probably, like toying with the idea, chatting to friends about it. And I just felt this really overwhelming sense of, I've got to do this, I need to do this. And so I registered the business, started the process of looking into web developers, and that took months and months. It was a long journey in actually getting the website functionality, and it was a lot of mapping it out, everything it needed to do, because essentially I just wanted it to be a really easy platform that was super user friendly, and for me it just needed to be really plain and easy for anyone going onto the website. Number one is they need to be able to look at who they're going to have to come to their hotel room. It's nice to see somebody's face, it's nice to look at their portfolio.
Like check a trade type
almost
thing, really.
Almost like that, like you can trust almost who's going to come to you. When you open that hotel bedroom door, you know who's going to be standing on the other side of it because you've read their portfolio, their bio. You kind of almost feel like you've got a little bit of a connection with them already. So that was important for me. And then choosing the treatment and basically putting in your address, making the payment, done.
Yeah.
They come to you. And I think that was really important for me, that it is just so easy. So the functionality of the website took a long, long time. Finding the right web team, the branding as well was something else. So it was a really kind of step by step, and it was all new to me, because this is nothing that I've done before.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's so far removed from anything that I've done in the past. I was a beauty therapist by trade in London and in a health spa, but then I quickly went into beauty management. So I didn't have any involvement in the setup of business. I mean, sure, I had involvement in the day-to-day running and looking after staff and managing bookings and clients, but the actual setup of the business, it was a whole different ball game, and I definitely wasn't prepared for it.
That's really interesting. I mean, there's a great book that I'm sure a lot of our listeners would have picked up at some time. It's called The E-Myth Revisited by a guy called Michael E. Gerber, and he makes the point that there is no perfect entrepreneur. You know, there's kind of people who have a mix of being a technician, a manager, and an entrepreneur. And so, you know, a lot of people stumble into business because they think, sort of two fingers to my current employer, I can do a better job on my own. But they do it as a technician, like they're technically a good accountant or they're technically a good beauty therapist, but then they don't really know any of the other stuff. And so you need to then have a mix of being a manager in there as well, somebody who can kind of like move and allocate resources and money to manage a business. And then also you need that entrepreneurial spark, and that needs to be there for slightly longer than just the initial screw my employer type thing. That needs to keep you going through
the sleepless nights.
Yeah, the sleepless nights and the thick and the thin when it's hard work, you know. So but there is no perfect. It's very hard to find those three things in equal measure in one person. Sometimes two people in business together, it often is a better mix. But if you found anything like any of those in you continuously, then you're onto the right path, right?
Well, I hope so. It's definitely a mindset situation, and I think just adapting and moving on and just overcoming the hurdles that I've just really got no clue how to deal with, really, and just learning as I go. I think that's the biggest thing I've learnt in general is I've got to just adapt and learn as I go and just keep moving forward.
What would you say was the biggest challenge you've had so far?
I think I totally underestimated the amount of work it would be and the amount of different job roles it would be for me. A lot of it did come easily and naturally, but then the things I didn't understand and the things I feel like I'm not so good at really is all the kind of social media, brand awareness, that side of it. It's kind of a relentless job that I don't really understand that well, I guess. And I think partly that's to do with my age. I think that my demographic is a little bit further removed from social media and all of the amazing tricks and fun ways that people make content now. I think that I don't really have the vast interest in it or the understanding in it. And I had to have a little social media coaching session with a really amazing local Brighton lady here, Marielle, and that really helped me have a better understanding of it. But since then, I realised that was one of my biggest failures. So I've just hired a marketing intern from Brighton Uni.
Brilliant.
And she's just started, and she's full of energy and full of ideas and everything that I don't know. So that's amazing. And I think she'll be a really good help. But I think that's probably my biggest hurdle is brand awareness.
Yeah, I mean, this is a spoiler alert, but me and Krystle were on the verge of having a rant about our inability to use social media prior to start pressing record. So I share Krystle's frustrations with this. I don't know. It doesn't excite me that much, and I'd rather meet people face to face and just see the whites of someone's eyes and just chat to them, And I just don't understand like social media, and that's my admission for the day, I think. So in terms of what you've enjoyed the most and what's gone well, can you think of a highlight?
A highlight. The first appointment being booked was the highlight.
Obviously, yeah, brilliant.
Jumping around in my kitchen at that point. And I think just seeing the business almost take on its own little identity. It's not what I expected it to be, and that's beautiful. I expected it to be, really predominantly getting ready for nights out kind of services, hair blow dries, hairstyling, makeup, that kind of red carpet treatment kind of treatments. But actually it's evolved into a lot of people wanting holistic treatments. We're doing a lot of facials, a lot of massages. We just recruited a sports massage therapist, and it's just taking on, it's expanding, and it's fulfilling the needs of not just the people that I initially set it up for, which was what I wanted. It's fulfilling a lot of other booking requests as well. So that's a big surprise and a big success. But also the connections that I've made along the way. I think what I've learned is that in Brighton especially, it's such a lovely little bubble, and really supportive, beautiful people. And I think the best way to actually make connections in Brighton for me, I found, is networking and actually meeting people face to face.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of really good connections. You know, I visit Brighton, and we're now on their website. We were on the Fringe website.
Wow.
We received a grant from the government, Brighton and Hove Council, because they recognised that it was a business that could add to the value of the Brighton economy.
That's excellent.
And I think partly that is due to as well that I've been really passionate about only using Brighton-based people to help me set up the business. You know, everybody from the web team to the branding, uniforms, even the lawyers were from Brighton, and it's just, that's really important to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of and we also have just been in touch with, it's almost like an Airbnb type business in Brighton, but they're going to offer our services in their luxury houses for people coming down for nights out. So that's also another little success that's just recently happened. To
have kind of affiliates alongside you who can, that's repeat business in a way, isn't it?
Yeah. I think being associated with well-established brands in Brighton is definitely where I want to be. Having the support of Brighton businesses and being recognised as a reliable luxury service that can benefit people being here for celebrations or just day to day, whether it's, you know, mums while the kids are at school having a recovering massage after half term, or whether it's people just wanting to have a really lovely celebration at home with their friends before they go out. You know, it ticks a lot of boxes, and I think it could, I mean, it's a service that everybody in Brighton could use. Yeah,
heck, I mean, Father's Day is coming up.
There we go.
I think these dads will need a massage. I feel like I've been beaten up most days by my children. So
yeah, me too.
And that's one of the things, isn't it? This challenge. We talk about our ages. We're not going to disclose that. We're going to keep that quiet. But actually, having young children and a young family, and having to raise a young family alongside running a business, like they're two completely different need sets, and totally both of them fighting like children for your attention.
Yeah, and I think that is also up there with one of the biggest challenges and one of the biggest surprises of setting up a business, is that I'd gotten, my husband and I we were in a dynamic that was working. I was primary childcare, two young children, and he was, you know, at work. And it's the balance has had to shift, because now I'm really working a lot of hours every day, and it has become a different dynamic at home, and it's taken a while to get into a new rhythm with it. I definitely feel that probably that was quite a big surprise actually, with getting used to the new way of life at home. But something really lovely, which, I mean, I was desperate to go back to work, and Get Glossy kind of came around at the right time, because I was really feeling like I needed a challenge and I needed something to get into. And I was going through that kind of feeling as a mum with two small children, of, you know, that feeling when you just feel a little bit lost in yourself. And my husband has an office at home, and he's been in London predominantly, and she was 8 at the time, my 8-year-old daughter made a sign, which is still on the desk, with her beautiful writing and her pictures, a Get Glossy sign with logos, and it's slap bang in the middle of the desk, that my husband used to use, but my daughter claimed it for me, and I just thought that was a really lovely.
That is amazing.
Really lovely moment for me.
When you need it in those low lows, when you're not sure if you can continue, there's the sign. That's why we do it. That's amazing. So Krystle, what's next for the business then? I mean, I think given you're such an early stage of your business, we can lean a little bit harder and give it the hard sell, I think. So tell us, who are the connections you want, and who are your ideal customers?
Connections, I would like to get more involved with hotels in Brighton. I would like to be the brands that the concierge recognise, that if a customer is in there asking for a treatment in the hotel room, they know who to call straight away.
Yeah.
And also, I'd like to get into staff wellness in offices. I think it'd be really lovely to focus on mental health and staff wellness, and being a service that can come into an office, do 15-minute treatments for a team of people, and offer that as another route. And affiliations with brands, I'd really love to have some more. We've just been in discussion with one beautiful skincare company, a Sussex-based skincare company, who would like us to offer their treatments on our website, which is amazing, and I'd like some more of that. I'd really like to have some skincare affiliations, brand affiliations, and expand, bigger team.
Yeah. Exciting stuff.
Exciting stuff. Right now I'm focusing on Brighton and really expanding and making as much of this as I can, but in time I would like to venture out to other cities as well.
The world is your oyster, Krystle. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on,
Thank
Krystle.
you.
And it's so lovely to hear about a new startup tech business in Brighton that is using the Brighton business community to its fullest. And we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks.